Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting into order. If I can please have roll call.
Councilmember Romero,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Tamayo,
Here.
Councilmember Peralta,
Present.
Councilmember Alonso,
Present.
and Mayor Melendez.
And I am here. We'll move on to the announcement of the closed session items. If we can please have our city attorney announce them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Good evening. This time would be appropriate if there are any public comments on closed session items to be heard. Are there any cards? Nope. I'm getting a no from the city clerk's area. We only have one item tonight for a closed session. That's conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, the Garcia versus City of Montebello matter. It's appropriate to recess into closed session at this time.
Okay, at this time, we'll move on to closed session. It is 6:01, and we'll reconvene as soon as we're done with closed session. Thank you.
Offer abundant opportunities for those who need office space or storefronts from which to offer goods and services or to conduct other business. Montebello Unified School District is one of the largest school systems in Los Angeles County, enrolling nearly 30,000 students from kindergarten through 12th grade. Founded in 1909, Montebello High School is one of 5 comprehensive high schools in this school district. Montebello High offers a safe and nurturing learning environment, providing students with intellectual, social, and personal growth. The district has 4 other high schools: the Applied Technology Center, Bell Gardens, Shure, and Vale, as well as 16 elementary schools, 6 intermediate schools, and 4 schools for adult education, all which offer advanced learning opportunities. Opened in 2011, the Applied Technology Center offers select students a specialized learning community combining project-based learning with career-based skill sets in architecture, construction, culinary, engineering, and legal and health services. We're also home to several private religious schools, including St. Benedict Grammar School, Cantwell Sacred Heart of Mary High School, Miraculous Middle School, and other faith-based education options. All of Montebello's schools share a commitment to academic excellence and helping students to achieve their full potential.
Today, Shop Local, Shop Montebello is visiting Angry Horse Brewing with Nathan McCusker to tell us about their business.
I'm Nathan McCusker. Welcome to Angry Horse Brewing here on Whittier Boulevard. Here at Angry Horse Brewing, we build community through craft beer. We make craft beer and seltzer-based cocktails right here in our Montebello facility. We have a ton of events going on through the holiday season here at Angry Horse, from trivia night to comedy night. We also would love to host your holiday gathering, so hit us up if you're interested in hosting your event here at Angry Horse Brewing. During the holidays, we're releasing 2 seasonal beers. We have a cranberry red ale, and we have a peppermint bark pastry stout that we're going to be releasing in December. Join us at Angry Horse. Be one of our regulars. We're open 7 days a week, or you can visit us at angryhorsebrewing.com. At Angry Horse Brewing, where craftsmanship and community unite.
Remember, Shop Local, Shop Montebello.
If you're looking for a safe, reliable, and accessible way to travel across town or the greater Los Angeles area, look no further than Montebello Bus Lines. This is the 3rd largest transit agency in Los Angeles County. Montebello Bus Lines operates 7 local bus routes, a commuter connection service to Metrolink trains, and a dial-a-taxi program. Moving more than 7 million riders annually over the past decade, Montebello Bus Lines supports the local economy by connecting people to jobs, shopping, entertainment venues, medical facilities, and learning institutions in 12 surrounding cities. Whether you're commuting to work or connecting with your friends to shop or eat out, let us do the driving as you sit back and relax on the way to your destination. Speaking of food, there's no lack of restaurants in the Montebello area. From authentic Mexican cuisine to classic Americana, you'll find something for everyone. Montebello offers diners a variety of tasteful eateries, bars, and social hangouts for all ages and appetites. The Shops at Montebello, with its modernized look and feel, strives to provide an optimal shopping experience and a place to come together, offering numerous retail and dining selections for the entire family. Stroll through Macy's, H&M, Forever 21, JCPenney, Coach, plus more than 160 specialty retailers. With room to grow, you're invited to help us continue building Montebello's prosperity, beauty, and rich diversity. In our community, the value of community organizations improve our quality of life by the interests and spirit those organizations uphold. Community organizations provide opportunities for friends and neighbors to give back, get involved, and come together while creating a sense of pride for the city they all share. Contact a community organization today and discover the contribution you can make through your participation and support.
Today, Shop Local, Shop Montebello visited Salvator Restaurant with Joe to tell us more about his business.
Hello, everybody. My name is Joe from Salvatore's Italian Restaurant. Welcome. At Salvatore's Restaurant, we specialized in authentic Southern Italian food, lasagnas and spaghetti and meatballs, and of course, our pizzas. All the ingredients come from a family recipe dated back to the early 70s. When you come to Salvatore's Restaurant, we treat you like family. We're not only open for lunch and dinner, but we have full entertainment Saturdays and Sundays, a banquet room to suit any occasion, and if you can't make the banquet room, we have party trays for pickup. For more information, visit us at salvatorerestaurant.com or on our social media websites at Salvatore Restaurant. Buon appetito.
Remember, Shop Local, Shop Montebello.
With open green spaces and over 125 acres of parkland, Montebello's recreation and community services offer endless opportunities in outdoor activities, health and wellness services, exciting events, and fun activities for all ages. Offering 12 scenic parks, 4 community centers, and multiple athletic facilities, recreational resources that enhance daily living and connect residents with their community. Engaging with the public every day, the Department of Recreation and Community Services provides quality programming in athletics, childcare, volunteer opportunities, and senior wellness activities. Recreation leaders strive to provide stellar services while creating memorable experiences for all families, residents, and visitors. Looking for fun and entertainment? Find hidden gems like the Barnyard Zoo, Sanchez Adobe Museum, or the Downtown Farmers Market. Coming soon is a world-class Topgolf entertainment complex. Whether you're spending a sunny day at one of our parks or joining a community event, Recreation and Community Services has something for everyone.
Today, Shop Local, Shop Montebello visited Oeste with Naomi to tell us more about her business.
Hi, I'm Naomi, the founder and owner of Oeste, a home goods company based here in Montebello on Whittier Boulevard. Come check out our offerings. We have plenty of cosas bonitas for your casita. Here at Oeste, we specialize in aromatic goodies for your home, as well as other beautiful home decor pieces from Latin American makers and artisans, both throughout the diaspora and locally. We also have beautiful handcrafted ceramics, textiles, plants, incense, soaps, bath goods, and gift sets. We also offer candle making workshops where you can learn to make your own scented candles and take them home that very day. And don't forget, if you can't visit us in person, you can shop online at oeste.co. We've got you covered for all things cosas bonitas for your casita.
Remember, Shop Local, Shop Montebello. Shop Local, Shop Montebello visited Boulevard Market with Barney Santos to tell us more about his business.
Hi, I'm Barney Santos, one of the founders of Boulevard Market. Let's check it out. We got For the Win, one of California's voted top smash burgers in all of California. We've got cold pizza. They do wood-fired Neapolitan pizza, absolutely phenomenal. And of course, we have Alchemy Craft. That's a beer and wine craft beer bar that my wife and I own. We have Los Taquero Mucho. They do artisanal Mexican cuisine and tacos. We've got Filipino cuisine called White Rice. They're one of the only Filipino restaurants in all of the east side of Los Angeles. Cafe Santo, people absolutely love their coffee. They do Oaxacan mochas like nobody else. Last but not least, we have Vichos, a Salvadoran cuisine. They've been food trucks for almost a decade, one of the original pioneers of food trucks in Los Angeles, and now they have a home here Thanks for joining us here at Boulevard Market. Good food, good drinks, and good vibes. We're here off of Whittier in downtown Montebello. Come join us for one of our many events that we have all year round. Plus, hey, if you want to have a holiday party here, this is a perfect location for it. And check out our website, boulevardmarket.com. That's BLVDMRKT. See you later.
Remember, shop local, shop Montebello.
Want to know what's going on in a bustling, growing city like Montebello? Staying connected is more important than ever, and Montebello's eblast makes it easy with highlights sent to your email inbox every week. Signing up is quick and simple. Just visit this website link or scan the QR code on your screen and enter your email address. You're all set to receive valuable information about your community, including festivals and holiday events, public announcements, recreational programs information, renovation and development projects, and much more. With our weekly eblast, you'll never miss out on the top news and information about your neighborhood. Together, we can build a more connected and vibrant community. Montebello's eblast, your weekly guide to Montebello happenings. Today, Shop Local, Shop Montebello visited Montebello Bicycles with Aldo and Beatrice to tell us more about their business.
Hi, I'm Beatrice.
Hi, I'm Aldo.
We're here at Montebello Bicycles on Beverly in beautiful Montebello, California. We're the only full-service shop in Montebello with over 35 years combined experience. We can help with all your cycling needs. Our goal is to get you back on the bike, enjoy the ride, and do anything from jump on your first bike to do that 100-mile ride. We have a 1 to 2 year warranty on all new bikes, including complimentary checkup. We're super excited to be part of the Montebello community, especially with the development of the Montebello Bicycle Master Plan. And stay tuned for our Black Friday and holiday sales where you enjoy 10 to 25% off bicycles and accessories. Visit us at montebellobicycles.com and on socials at Montebello Bikes.
Remember, shop local, shop Montebello. The Citizen of the Month program celebrates those who embody the spirit of advocacy, volunteerism, education, and contribution. Montebello is filled with extraordinary people who light up our community with compassion. They are unsung heroes who make a difference in the lives of others. We invite you to be a part of the process and nominate someone today. To nominate someone for Citizen of the Month, visit tinyurl.com/citizen nomination or scan this QR code and complete the nomination form. Each month, the nominees are reviewed and selected by the Citizen of the Month Committee and awarded during City Council meetings. Help us acknowledge the remarkable efforts of these quiet champions and give them the recognition they deserve. Nominate someone today because every act of kindness counts.
Shop local, shop Montebello. Visited Brioche with Vanessa Raygoza to tell us more about her business.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Raygoza, Executive Pastry Chef here at Brioche Pastries. We offer pastries, cakes, and coffee. We take great pride in using artisanal methods and quality graded ingredients. We don't use any emulsifiers, stabilizers, preservatives, thickeners, or dough conditioners. We are sourcing our chocolate from Switzerland, our compounds from France and Italy. Visit us at briochepastries.com. Come get your gift certificates for the holidays and place your special orders with us. See you soon.
Remember, shop local, shop Montebello.
Shop local, shop Montebello visited Organica Juice Bar with Anna to tell us more about her business.
Hi, welcome to Organica Juice Bar. My name is Anna. I'm the owner, founder of Organica. We are the first organic juice business in Montebello, and we're happy to be here because this is a city I grew up in and I continue to live here, so welcome. We have created a space for wellness and a healthier lifestyle. We make our almond milk in-house every day. As you're thinking about a healthy start to your new year, we specialize in organic, fresh, made-to-order juices, superfood smoothies and bowls, salads, toast, wellness shots, healthy snacks, and detox cleanses. Our wellness classes coming up in the month of December. We also do catering services. We invite you to follow us on our social media, Organica Juice Bar. Please visit us for good vibes, and remember, health is wealth. Thank you.
Shop local, shop Montebello. Shop Local, Shop Montebello visited Ground Up Coffee with Daniel Dupuy to tell us more about his business.
Hey, what's up? My name is Daniel Dupuy. I'm the owner here at Ground Up Coffee. Born and raised here in Montebello. We're a local business. Let me show you what we do. Ground Up Coffee is the first specialty coffee shop in Montebello. We've been here 8 years now. We buy farm direct coffee in an ethical way. We roast it ourselves here at our coffee shop. We do all types of lattes. We do cold brews. We do drip coffees. We also have growlers for cold brew. We do a couple specialty teas. And we also have resale bags for things that you can brew at home. We're definitely a community-oriented shop. We have great Wi-Fi. We have a lot of outlets for charging your computers. We get a lot of students. We have a community library that over the years has become a really, really dope selection of books. And it's definitely a space people come to relax, get away, or to be inspired. Catch our website at groundupcoffeela.com. So come on down, grab one of those things, and hope you enjoy yourself.
Remember, shop local, shop Montebello.
I am Melanie Walovich. I am the person that takes care of the Montebello Barnyard Zoo. What we're doing is, well, due to the fires, there's a family that reached out to me asking if, there's anything I can do to maybe help the family that lost their home. They have about almost 50 animals, farm animals, and I offered for them to bring them here. Point of doing this is to help the animals so they're all in one place together. They will have love, food, people visiting them all the time until the family can get back on their feet again. And that is my main goal, is to make sure that they're okay and they get the help they need.
Small businesses power Montebello, and now we're powering you. The Leaf Business Boost program is here to help local entrepreneurs launch, grow, and thrive. Whether you're just starting out or looking to expand, this program provides the resources, expert guidance, and personalized support to make it happen. Through one-on-one advising, access to capital, and hands-on training in marketing, finance, business operations, and more, the Business Boost program gives you the toolkit you need to succeed. Classes begin in March and meet once a week for 10 sessions. Best of all, Leaf Business Boost program is completely free. Because when local businesses succeed, Montebello thrives. Start your journey now. Visit leeaf.la to fill out the Entrepreneurial Academy interest form. Your business, your future. Let's build it together.
Welcome to the city of Montebello. Montebello is adjacent to the San Gabriel Valley in Los Angeles County, approximately 8 miles southeast of downtown Los Angeles. Here you'll find a beautiful suburban community, parks and open space, and diverse dining and shopping experiences among a thriving business district. Settled by the native Tongvan peoples and later developed by missionaries and agriculture, the city reflects its name for beautiful mountain. Montebello's fertile hills are historically known for their natural beauty and breathtaking views. The discovery of oil in the region in the early 1900s gave rise to local industry and increased prosperity of the city. Montebello is now home to nearly 63,000 residents. Located near major freeways, Montebello is an ideal location for businesses to thrive, serving as an important center for the movement of goods, auto sales, and industrial warehousing and manufacturing, offering families, visitors, and businesses an environment in which they can live, work, and play. The public safety of Montebello's residents is looked after by a dedicated police force and fire department.
What's that?
Good evening. We're back from closed session. At this time, I'd like our city attorney to provide a report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Members of the City Council, the record should reflect that the City Council, with all 5 members being present, recessed into closed session, that the one item that was listed on the agenda, the Garcia versus City of Montebello matter, was discussed. Briefing was provided by the City Attorney's Office. Direction was provided with respect to possible settlement of that matter, but there was no final action taken, and there's nothing further to report. Mr. Mayor, that concludes my report from closed session. It's appropriate to continue with the open portion of the meeting.
Thank you, City Attorney. At this time, if I can have our City Clerk do the invocation and our City Treasurer the Pledge of Allegiance, if you can all please rise.
As we gather here today, we pray that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render our service to fellow citizens and to our community. Keeping in mind always the enduring values of life, exerting our efforts in those areas and on those things upon which future generations can build with confidence. Let us continue to strive to make a better world. We ask this in thy name. Amen.
Ready, begin.
Thank you both, City Treasurer, City Clerk. We'll move on to any corrections to the agenda. I'll turn it over to the city manager.
Mayor, council members, there aren't any corrections to the agenda today.
Okay, at this time, we'll move on to the presentation portion of the council meeting. If I can please have my colleagues join me down on the pit. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. First, let me just double check that the recipients are here. Nathaniel Pompa, okay, I see you. And then we have Valerie Mendez. Awesome, both here. Okay, perfect. I stand before you today with great honor to recognize and celebrate two extraordinary individuals who have dedicated their lives to the art of Muay Thai. These athletes have endured grueling workouts, pushed their physical and mental limits, and faced opponents with courage that inspires us all. As we applaud these fighters today, let's also take a moment to recognize the coaches, trainers, and support systems that have played an integral role in shaping them into the formidable competitors they have become. It is now my privilege to present certificates to the Los Angeles Muay Thai athletes for their outstanding accomplishments at the WC Muay Thai Pan American Tournament. Both Nathaniel Pompa and Valerie Mendez have each earned the gold medal. It is an achievement that speaks to their skill, dedication, and heart. So if you can please join me in celebrating their success, and if you can all please come up here and say a few words for us. This is for you. Congratulations. This is for you. Congratulations. Coach, congratulations. Congratulations. All right, who would like to say a few words here? Would you like to say a few words? Yeah, talk a little bit about the accomplishment. Here you go. I'm gonna give you the mic.
Okay, all right. Well, it was a great experience, going to Mexico and representing Montebello, and it was a experience that we never forget, and it's just glad to be out there and represent. So, a little about the event was I fought 4 times in one weekend. So, and I fought 4 different countries. So I fought Mexico, fought Argentina, fought Micronesia, a little island near Guam, and as well as a fellow American. And thank to God that I came on top, and just thank you to my coaches and my team, that we prepared for this in the fashion they trained me, and just can't thank it enough. And so thank you guys for listening, and that was about the journey.
Coach, did you want to say a few words? Yeah, I'm gonna give you the mic. They said yeah. Yeah? No? All right. Here, Coach. We're having everybody speak to you.
All right. So, Coach David Huerta, this is crew Jorge Zarate, and we're just really proud of our athletes and their accomplishments. There's a lot that goes into a fight camp. They have to be consistent. They're there at least 6 days a week, training, working their butts off, and there's a lot that goes on before the competition themselves. They have to deal with life issues, injuries, and none of this stopped them from achieving their goal. We spent a few months preparing for this tournament, and there's weigh-ins. So the athletes have to make a certain weight every day that they're going to compete. So every night they're making sure they watch what they eat the entire time. They're having to cut weight. We would wake up, we would have to weigh in at 6 a.m. in the morning. So we're walking. This was in Monterrey, Mexico. So we're walking the streets of Monterrey, Mexico at 5:30 in the morning, walking to the weigh-ins. They weigh in at 6 o'clock. We go get breakfast, take a quick nap, and then we're right back to the venue by 11 o'clock, and they're ready to perform. Both of these athletes did a great job. We're right down the street. They represent the city of Montebello. They represent, Los Angeles and USA, absolutely, 100%. And we're very proud to be a part of this national team. We are the only athletes from Los Angeles that represented the country. So, I'm really proud of our school, even more proud of our athletes, and I hope you guys are all proud of us too. Thank you.
Thank you again for making us proud. I spoke to the directors, and they all want to sign up for 1 hour of training, intense training, so we'll start that next week. If we can have a picture over here.
Hold on. One second. Where's your medal at? Get that gold medal out. Get the gold medal out. Yes. There we go. Hey.
Right home the gold. Good job.
Does any of the family want to come and take a picture?
Brian? Yeah. Thank you very
Congratulations.
much. Thank you.
Coach, congratulations. Yeah, good to see you again.
Crew. Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Once again, congratulations, and thank you for making us proud here in Montebello. We'll move on to item number 3, the presentation by the Greater Los Angeles County Vector Control District.
Okay. Are we good to start? Okay, perfect. Good evening, Honorable City Council. My name is Caroline Gongora, and I am the Public Information Coordinator at the Greater Los Angeles County Vector Control District. I'm just here to give a quick presentation of an overview of our services and programs that we offer for the City of Montebello. So just a little quick info about our district. We are the largest of the 5 vector control districts that service LA County. We provide mosquito, black fly, and midge control services. If you look to the maps on the map on the right, you'll see the 5 vector control agencies in the county. We are the one in orange, so as I mentioned, we are the largest one. We go north to Santa Clarita, south to South Pedro, and east to Diamond Bar. And of course, the City of Montebello falls within our service area. Our services are funded by property and special assessment taxes, and our current cost per single-family home being $18.97. The two mosquito-borne disease of control for residents in Montebello is dengue fever. Not only is it a growing threat globally, but also here locally. If you look at the bullet points, in 2024, we did have 140 travel-associated cases within our service area, but LA County did have 14 cases. And of those 14, 3 of them were locally acquired in our service area. West Nile virus continues to be a problem because it is endemic to LA, which means that every single year we will see some type of activity, either it be human cases, positive West Nile virus positive mosquito samples, or dead birds. We do follow an integrated vector management approach, meaning that we use surveillance, control, and education to protect the public from mosquitoes and mosquito-borne diseases. I just quickly want to go over our 3 main departments that really are boots on the ground for what we do. So we do have operations. I think this is the most familiar department that the public is aware of. So they are the ones that are in charge of responding to service requests that we receive from the public, from residents, other agencies, and then also the mosquito-borne disease cases. So I mentioned there are human cases, so we do respond to those human cases by conducting yard inspections. Some other services that we do, our staff does monitor, inspect, and treat various public sources, not only in Montebello, but across our service area. We also monitor swimming pools. So swimming pools can become a breeding ground for mosquitoes if they are not maintained throughout the year. And street gutters as well is something that we also target in our control methods, just because mosquitoes can breed in these street gutters. Some places residents may not think of as breeding sources for mosquitoes are underground storm drain systems. So mosquitoes do go underground, especially in the wintertime. They prefer those humid conditions. So we do say that for us in mosquito control, mosquito season is year-round, especially in the winter. We also work with other agencies to do physical control in the flood control channels and stormwater systems, making sure that we are pushing that debris to allow the water to flow and not to stagnate. Here, what you see on the screen is a map of the city of Montebello and the mosquito sources within the city. That includes residential and public, ponds, pools, stormwater structures, and drains. In 2024, we did conduct over 2,300 inspections. So we are quite busy. Residents may not see us every day, but we are making sure that we are controlling mosquitoes in those public sources, as I mentioned before, but also helping residents in their properties. Our second department I would like to highlight is our scientific and technical department, which consists of vector ecologists that conduct black fly surveillance. So this is primarily in the LA River. We do tend to see more activity near like the Dodger Stadium in that area, but they also set and collect mosquito traps. We do identify the mosquitoes in those traps, and we send a portion to UC Davis for testing, and that's how we know if our traps test positive for West Nile virus, dengue, or these other mosquito-borne diseases. And we also collaborate with the state's public health department in the dead bird testing, just making sure we are tracking West Nile virus activity, not only here in Montebello, but of course throughout the state. Really quickly, just want to share an exciting new project that we are working on called the sterile insect technique, also known as SIT, where we use x-rays to sterilize male mosquitoes, release these sterile males over time in a targeted area, and then these sterile male mosquitoes will mate with the wild females. So we do work with the male mosquitoes because, one, they do not bite, only the female mosquitoes bite. And when these sterile male mosquitoes mate with the wild females, we will see a reduction in the mosquito population because their eggs will not be viable, meaning that they won't hatch. So hence why we see that reduction in the mosquito population and the reduction in disease risk. What's nice about SIT is that it's non-chemical and is eco-friendly. And then lastly, for our third department is our communications department, which promotes public awareness of the district services, but also educates the public about mosquitoes and vector-borne diseases through community outreach, youth education, city/community presentations like today, and then also using traditional and social media to educate the public. Then lastly, just wanted to say thank you to the city and your staff that hopefully we can continue those partnerships that we've been doing in previous seasons to get our information out there, but just most importantly, letting Montebello residents know that there is an agency out there to help them with their fight against mosquitoes. I know sometimes residents, even I have family and friends that feel that they are their last wits with mosquitoes, don't know who to look for. So just making sure that residents here know that there is an agency and that we can help them with their mosquito issues. And then that's the end of my presentation. So please let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you for your presentation. I'll look around to see if any of my colleagues have any questions, comments. Councilmember Peralta.
Thank you so much for the insightful presentation. I just do have a question. I know there was pictures shown in terms of some of the operations that get done in terms of the spraying of a chemical in just public areas. Just trying to understand if this is harmful to young children or even pets that are in these public spaces, and if the public is notified prior to this chemical being sprayed in these areas.
Yes, that's a very good question. So when it comes to mosquito control, we do use chemicals, but we use an array of different pesticides. So we primarily focus on what is truly effective. And for us, we see that it is best to target mosquitoes in their aquatic stages. And what's nice about that is that we can use what we call biological control. So there is something called BTI that is from a bacteria found in soil. So that works really great in different formulations, either it be liquid or granules, where the mosquito larvae will ingest it and it disrupts their digestive system, and then they die off of that. So that is one of the chemicals that we do use. And of course, when it comes to that second part of your question about do we notify the public, when it comes to our everyday treatments or when we're monitoring these public sources, we do have them on a rotation system. And of course, the public, if they see us in the street gutters or maybe in the flood control channels, they're more than welcome to talk to our technicians or contact our agency. But when it comes to doing, let's say, special treatments, let's say there's high mosquito populations or maybe there's a human case, we do our best to notify the public if we're doing any adulticides, meaning that's when we use certain chemicals to target the flying adults. And that's when we do let the public know if we're conducting a treatment, especially if it's at a school or near school, then we do talk to the school officials to let them know. And we do try to make sure that we do these treatments in the early morning. So one, of course, because residents are in their homes, but also making sure that our pesticides don't affect other insects such as bees or other pollinators.
Okay. Do any of my other colleagues have any questions or comments? Mayor Pro Tem Tamayo.
So one question that I do have is, I know we have one of our Montebello residents who is part of the vector control. If you can just describe like what his role is. This is Advit.
Oh, do you mean that sits on our board of trustees?
Yes.
Oh, yes, Trustee Avid Cordero. Yes, he is a resident here in Montebello, and he does sit on our board of trustees. And along with our other city trustees, either it be part of city councils or also residents, they do sit on our board and really help direct where our district goes. And I'm really happy to say that our board of trustees, including Trustee Cordero, are really involved and really are looking to see that we are working the best to our ability and that we are transparent, similar to the previous question, making sure that we are alerting the public when we're doing treatments or that we are going to their cities to either do presentations like the one today or also going to city events. So I know he's helped us connect with the city council and the city as well in making sure that we are working with the communication staff or maybe Parks and Recs to really get out there and educate the public, again, not only about our services, but also what they can do to prevent mosquito breeding.
Councilmember Alonso.
Thanks for being here tonight. Just a quick question. So what would prompt me to call the Greater Los Angeles County Vector Control District in terms of mosquito activity? Like how much is a safe amount and when should I be concerned? When should I call you?
Yes, I guess it all depends on your tolerance of mosquitoes. Definitely, I know maybe like at least I can speak from my experience. My family's from El Salvador where they experience a lot of mosquitoes where it kind of becomes an everyday thing where you don't really think about vector control or that there's an agency out there. And of course, things are different here in California, but definitely we encourage residents that one, if they don't know about standing water, definitely one, hopefully through the presentation, information. What I'm saying here today is that after every single rain event, or during, during, or after the season, residents are looking for standing water. But let's say even after that, they're still having mosquito issues. Maybe they're getting bit, they can't enjoy their backyard anymore. Then they could definitely contact our agency and say, you know, I've already dumped standing water. I don't know what to do. We can definitely have one of our vector control specialists conduct a property inspection where we only inspect the front and the backyard, the outside perimeter, looking for standing water and being able to help residents with long-term solutions that are tailored to their property. Another reason that residents can contact us is if they have a swimming pool, for example. If they see that's becoming green and they're starting to see a lot of mosquitoes, then they can definitely contact us and we can try to assist them and making sure they're able to put their pool back to maintenance or keeping it dry and empty. Even if residents don't have pools, but let's say they're walking around their neighborhood with their families or their pets and they notice a green swimming pool, they can definitely report that to us anonymously. We don't say, you know, so-and-so called us in your neighborhood to report that you have this green pool, or maybe the property where the green pool is abandoned or in foreclosure. They can definitely report that to us, so then we can make sure that we are monitoring it and treating the swimming pool until, let's say, the resident can make it back to maintenance or maybe drain the water, or, you know, unless like there's a new resident in that home. So I would say those are some of the examples that residents would be implied to like contact us. But I would definitely say even if residents are just having general problems with mosquitoes or have questions, they can definitely contact us. They can visit our website, or they can do the old-fashioned way like I like to do, is just call into the agency. We can answer their questions or address their concerns.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no other comments or questions, again, just want to thank you for your presentation and as well for answering all those questions in great detail. So thank you again.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
You too. All right, at this time, we'll move on to public comments on non-agenda items.
Yes, at this time, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, anyone who wishes to address the city council on non-agenda items is required to have filled out a card and turned in to the city clerk at this point. Do we have cards for non-agenda items?
Yes, we do. Would you like me to begin?
Yeah. Yes, please proceed.
Thank you. First speaker is Rosa Tamayo, followed by Raul Hurtado.
Buenas noches, honorable Mayor Meléndez y miembros del concilio. Les quiero decir que no pensaba venir yo a la junta, por eso no pedí el intérprete. No les voy a poner un complaint, nomás quería decirles que la caja de Pandora se abrió porque votaron para un recall para Angie Jiménez y aquí estamos en un problema muy grande de corrupción. Señora Romero, disculpe lo que le diga, pero yo tengo mucho aprecio para los veteranos, pero usted le está quitando el derecho a votar a los votantes en el Distrito 4. Y usted, Rick Alonso, le está quitando el derecho al Distrito 5 de votar a los votantes del Distrito 5. Y disculpen lo que les estoy diciendo, pero eso va a repercutir. Y no es legal lo que está pasando. Sabemos que hay un control, igual que lo que estuvo pasando en Huntington Park. Así que tienen la oportunidad de resignar o o hacer alguna decisión a su tiempo para que no se vean afectados. ¿Ok? Lo siento mucho, pero la gente vota cuando ustedes piden el voto. Y pues muchas gracias.
Gracias por su comentario. If we can please have the next speaker.
Next speaker is Raul Hurtado, followed by Levon Prothero.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor. I have to direct my comments to you, so I will, but they're going to be about the seat to your right and the seat to your left. I would like to know if the city manager consulted with the city attorney before he fired Chief Espinosa. If he did the city attorney tell him, yes, you can fire him while he's on medical? Or did the city attorney say, no, you can't fire him? And did the city manager just go ahead and fire him anyway? The way I see it, the city attorney resigned from Huntington Park, and because they didn't follow his instructions or his whatever. And if the city manager didn't consult with him, then maybe he should resign from here too. And that's my question. I would like to know if he consulted with him or not. And what did the city attorney tell the city manager? And please don't tell me that it's attorney-client privilege, because I am the client here. I pay taxes that go to the city attorney. He doesn't. So I am the client, so I need that confidentiality. Thank you. I'll wait for the answer.
We can go back and forth on the question and answer, but we'll make sure that we have staff address this question. Yep.
When?
We'll consult with staff and we'll get back to you, Mr. Hurtado. Thank you. If we can please have the next speaker.
Next speaker is Levon Prothero, followed by Bill Paliso.
I know you like hearing this, but I just still consider Montebello fentanyl capital of California. You know, Monday night I was in my garage and all of a sudden I started coughing as bad as you can cough. And I looked up where I knew to look at the lights, and sure enough, I'm being gassed. Usually it puts you to sleep, especially if you're sitting in a chair, it makes you tired. And I said, the bastards, I'm gonna show up next city council meeting just to be ornery. You know, since they took over the South Montebello Irrigation District, they probably don't need the fire chief anymore, because them fires, the drug labs don't blow up because they quit using cold water, now they're using hot water. So last time one of them blew up next door to me, that's 849 South 4th Street. His boss is across the street. In case somebody in the audience don't know that, that's 848. The last time it blew up, I didn't see one kid for about 30 days or more. I was hoping it killed everybody, but it didn't. Anyway, I'm showing up. I'm supposed to be too sick to show up. That's the point of them gassing me, because I had extremely cold. I was going to show up if I had to walk, just to be ornery. And let's see, I forget what I'm doing anymore. Yeah, in case nobody in the audience knows it, they've probably taken over most of. Don't be surprised if hospitals in this area, and Good Samaritan, Whittier Presbyterian, plenty of drug people working there. You know, I guarantee you that. And let's see, what else? Well, I think you heard enough from me. I forget where I'm doing anymore.
Thank you for your.
It's still drug capital of Southern California, though.
Thank you for your comment. If we can please have the next speaker.
Bill Paliso, followed by Linda Nicholas.
Good evening. Mr. Alonzo, still waiting for that phone call. It's been 2 months now. I'm a resident of South Montebello. You're my representative, correct? Yes? No? Acknowledgement? Sit up also. It's a business meeting. You're not at home watching TV. So I'm still waiting for that phone call. Also, tonight, item number 4, The Jackart project is on the agenda. 3 of you, and I'm pretty sure 4, campaign manager is Miss Christina Cortez. She was involved the first time around in this project. Right, Scarlett? Remember? Yeah, we all remember. So we'll just leave it at that, and I'll say other comments when that item comes up. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. If we can please have the next speaker.
Next speaker is Linda Nicholas, followed by Tila Gregorian.
Good evening. My name is Linda Nicholas, co-founder of Match 90640. This evening, I'm going to address Alonzo. FYI, you are not having the fence built on Bluff Road. The funds were given to the city by Senator Archuleta after the then mayor approached him and spoke to him and said about the need of the residents on Bluff Road they had because of the homeless situation breaking into their homes. I previously gave you a copy of a picture of the $935,000 check he presented to the mayor, then Cobos Cawthorn, at the site where the fence will be built. You remind me of Scarlett, patting yourself on the back, taking credit where you don't deserve it. For businesses like, for instance, she takes credit for Topgolf. All she did was cut the ribbon. Cute. Same thing for Tesla dealership. Had nothing to do with it, which is going to result in the largest sales revenue producing business in our city. Again, that was a former city manager, Bobadilla, and Mayor Cobos Cawthorn, who, by the way, both own Tesla vehicles, which the Tesla people were very impressed that they support the brand. As for the streets being paved and repaired, again, that program was by former city manager Bobadilla, who obtained the funding to get all the streets in the city done and repaired with grant money that would not be used to, nothing would cost the city a dime from our general fund. Every street's going to be fixed, and that's what, it was a 5-year program, so you can't take credit for that either. As for the substation, Councilwoman Jimenez begged over and over for a police substation for the South in her District 5, and she was told by Scarlett that a $750,000 dog park was more important than the residents' safety in Angie's district. I do not refer to it as your district because if you and District 4 appointments had any integrity, you would both have allowed a special election to be held so the residents' votes would have chosen their council members. Unfortunately, you both couldn't allow that because neither of you would have been elected to those seats. Don't get too comfortable in those seats, though, because when the courts charged Scarlett and Tamayo with voter fraud, which is chargeable offense, you both will also be removed. FYI, do not count on Glassman to defend you because he broke the law, allowing 2 to be a quorum to take control of the council votes. Again, voter fraud. We, the residents, are taking back our city, and everything you 4 will vote on will be reversed. Just watch. That will be our victory when you bums are charged along with your so-called campaign manager, AKA wannabe mob boss. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. If we can please have the next speaker.
Next speaker is Tila Gregorian, followed by Colleen Josma.
Good evening, council members, Montebello residents and city staff. Tila Gregorian, address is on file. I'm really concerned of the firing of a fire chief. He was on medical leave. Isn't that against the law? I have never, and I've worked most of my life, heard of anyone getting fired when they were on a medical leave. Do we not have any rules in our city? I'm beginning to think not. I'm getting very concerned about what's happening in our city. And that, let's see, the other things that I am concerned about is that 2 council members were appointed without a quorum. Is that something new in our city? What is wrong with you guys? As far as I'm concerned, I'm addressing my 3 elected council members. You, my dear sir, and you, my dear madam, I do not see you as my council member. You were not elected by us. You were not appointed by a quorum. But I want to know, Arnold, what is going on here? You're the attorney of the city. How can you allow that to happen? It is just like, what's going on in our city? I am really very concerned with this changes that are taking place, and this would have never happened in the past. You just don't, we have an election and we vote. The residents of our city elect our council members. You do not, as far as I know, have the right to pick and choose who's going to be in the council. You should have just called a special election. Enough money is spent and wasted by our city. You could have spent the money on a better issue. Special elections so that the residents of our city could have picked their representatives or council members. So I'm sorry, I just don't consider you my council member or you, my dear. And you sit there, I'd be ashamed to sit up there pretending that you were elected or that you were selected by a quorum, because you have no right to be sitting up there. How can we respect you? You have no dignity. You just do not care what to, I mean, I don't even have words to explain how I feel about you too. I guess I'm happy my time is up because I don't want to keep on.
Thank you for your comment. If we can please have the next speaker.
Next speaker is Colleen, followed by Valerie Pina.
Hello, I am Colleen Jousbund, address on record. Here about the traffic on Greenwood between Los Angeles and...
Can you just put the mic up there? Perfect.
Between Los Angeles and Olympic Boulevard. We're still having issues with getting in and out of our driveways, but that's not really the biggest issue here. It's the truck traffic. I want to first say that the Superior truck traffic has never been an issue in all of the decades that my family has lived there. But the issues are the construction traffic. One day I saw 3 large dump trucks with dual dump truck areas, whatever, in the back going down our street. We've also had semi-trucks, even have had utility lines torn down. We've actually had to call the fire department about that just because we weren't sure that they were electric lines or not. I'm very curious when my internet will be disconnected because of this truck traffic, and I will lose business for my home business, my online business. And now regarding a business at 1112 West Olympic Boulevard, this business is zoned as R3. The planning department gave them a special commercial whatever agreement there, but they are a transportation yard. They are rattling our houses like it's a 4.0 earthquake every time. Late at night, they are doing things after midnight, and even having to hear this at 12 o'clock at night. Like, that's not something that North Montebello would ever have to deal with. Please do something, and I want to say, earn your place. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. If we can please have the next speaker.
Next speaker is Valerie Pina, followed by Myra Acosta.
Hello, Council. I'm here with an issue about people parking where they're not supposed to. Last meeting, someone even mentioned the words Class Zoo. Make it make sense. In my home, we do have a member of the family with special needs, and how dare they come and advocate on behalf of people that park where they are not supposed to. My driveway gets blocked constantly. Do you think it's fair to wait for inconsiderate people to come and move their cars, or have to wait until they see the warning ticket? I don't think this should have to be an issue. Just don't park where you're not supposed to. Now, insinuating and making accusations about council making deals, it's way out of line. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. If we can please have the next speaker.
Next speaker is Myra Acosta, followed by Brisa Sotelo.
Hola, buenas noches a los miembros del concilio. Mi nombre es Mayra, soy residente de aquí de Montebello. Me dirijo a ustedes en representación, o más bien en apoyo del joven Vincent Casey, que todos acusaron y hostigaron solo por tener iniciativa. Joela Valdés, siendo una persona que quería asumir un puesto para representar a la comunidad, con una actitud un poco reprobable, diría yo. Ignorante también, si surgió que había más estudiantes con necesidades, la beca por $200 de parte de nuestro concejal Alonso, estaba abierta al público. Ellos actuaron sin fundamento, pero ¿qué nos podemos esperar de personas que faltan al respeto a la junta completa del concilio? Gracias al concejal Rick Alonso, siga predicando con el ejemplo inesperado a nuestros futuros líderes. Muchas gracias.
Gracias por su comentario. If I can have the next speaker, please.
Next speaker is Brisa Sotelo.
Good evening, council members. My name is Brisa, and I'm a resident of the South Montebello area. And the reason I'm here is because I want to set the record straight. The record straight on the fence. So we've been dealing with this for a long time, and Rick, you have posted on your website or on your IG page about the fence and how you've asked for an update. Well, I've been asking for updates as well, but I really want you to actually be educated about what really has gone on. And all due respect, we didn't coordinate, but I have a different narrative from your narrative. So what I recall and what I do have documented is that back in June of 2020, Senator Archuleta actually appropriated $935,000 for this fence. This came because I made a complaint, because my neighbors made a complaint, not because who was in office and was the mayor. That is not what happened. I'm just setting the record straight here. And I went to then Councilmember Sal Melendez and then Councilmember Angie Jimenez and told them about it. My councilmember did not take any action. There were no districts back then. But Councilmember Melendez did. He went down to Archuleta and asked for those funds. I have a post. I have the newsletter. I'm happy to share it with you. Fast forward, I also met with the city manager. I told him about it. He was brand new to the position, and I told him that these funds had not been granted to the city. What was funny was that when the announcement came out again in 2021, 1 year later, again, I have the post from the senator's office. He posted it twice. I have those for you. He actually went and did a photo presentation with then Angie Jimenez and then Mayor Cobos. The funny thing is that we've never received those funds, and those funds were supposed to be for the fence from Bluff Road from Washington to Sycamore. We brought these complaints up during COVID. Constantly saw a lot of unhoused members, people throwing trash and debris over the fence. And this is what we asked for. Not an assessment, not the other side of Bluff. I don't care if you put another one, but those funds are for the other side. I have no idea where these funds are at. I've asked you for it. You've asked for it. We want you to engage us and tell us where those funds are at and get that fence up, because we continue to have debris thrown over. But for the record, and I have the facts, come to us. And I still haven't heard the report. So if you want the facts, I'm happy to send it to you.
Thank you for your comment. Do we have any other speakers?
Mayor, that concludes all speaker cards for non-agenda items.
Okay, again, everyone, thank you for your comments. We'll move on to staff communication of items of community interest.
Mayor, council members, nothing to report at this time.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 4, the public hearing. We'll open up the public hearing, and is there a presentation from staff?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. This item comes back to the city council for review and consideration. It has been, I think, the second, this might be the third time, Mr. Palumbi? Third time the matter's been before the city council. Since the last hearing on this matter, we have two new city council members who did not participate in the previous presentations or public testimony. I understand we do have, how many speaker cards, Mr. City Clerk?
We have a total of 10.
And City Attorney, I'm sorry, but before we continue, I know the Mayor Pro Tem does have to recuse herself for this item. Would at this time be appropriate?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. The record should reflect that the Mayor Pro Tem will be stepping aside this evening in as much as she has a property interest within 500 feet of the subject matter property, and therefore will be stepping aside at this point and leaving the room. Thank you, Mayor, for that reminder. So with that, there has been public testimony that has been received by some of the speakers who have requested to speak this evening. My suggestion would be, Mr. Mayor, is to allow all cards that have been turned in to speak. Probably take those that have not had an opportunity to address the city council an opportunity to address the council first. And then if those that have already spoken have any new material to present to the city council, that would be appropriate for them to do so at that time. However, the proper procedure for tonight's presentation would first be the presentation, well, first staff presentation, and if there is one or if there wishes to be questions of staff. Secondly would be then the proponent, the applicant of the proposal would then have an opportunity to present their position on their project. After that is concluded, then those in favor of the project would have an opportunity to address the city council. After those parties have spoken, then it would be turned to those parties in opposition to the project, and those individuals then be allowed to speak to the city council. And then lastly, after those individuals have provided their comments and testimony, it would then come back to the proponent of the project for any rebuttal or any further comments. Once that has concluded, the public hearing would be closed, and then it would come up to the council level for discussion and decision.
Okay, thank you for that. So at this time, it would be appropriate to have staff do a presentation on this item.
We're available to answer questions, but it's our understanding there's a representative here from the project that will be giving a presentation.
Okay, if we can have the representative come up and do the presentation.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, council members, staff, community. My name is Victor Sanchez, and before I begin, I want to start off by just saying I commend the work that you're doing as an elected official. I know how tough that may be at times, so I'll start off by stating that. And then secondly, I'd like to acknowledge that the applicant is here present in the audience. And with that, I don't believe there's a laser here, so bear with me. The project itself that I am representing this evening is, we call it Casa Bella del Sur. The applicant is William Molinari, and the proposed project is to demolish an existing home and build 15 two-story single-family homes. It will include streets, utilities, and a private park, pocket park, I should say. The site information provided to you is pretty brief. My focus is on the project site is 301 Jackart Drive, and I cannot read it from here, so I'm gonna have to zoom in here. It's a R1 zoning. The lot size is also a 1 acre, 1.38 acres, which is about roughly 60,000 square feet. It is surrounded by R1 and R3. To the immediate right of the property, if you look at the site information sheet, on the right side where you see all those trees lined up, and I apologize, I was hoping to have a laser, is where the multifamily homes are that are called Riverwalk. It's a multifamily project that was approved a few years back. That is to the right of it. Again, current use is a single-family home with pool and landscaping. The proposed site, as you see now on your screen, is 15 single-family homes, their own streets, a hammerhead on the far right next to the pocket park, which would allow for fire to enter and to vacate the property if needed in case of an emergency. All the shaded area, the gray, and you'll see it later in another slide, is gardening, landscaping, and other trees and other mature vegetation that would be part of the project itself. Here you see the first story and the second story. In the first story, you'll see that there is a attached garage. Most of these homes will be 3 bedrooms to 4 bedrooms, or 2.5 bathrooms to 3.5 bathrooms. They do vary. Each unit varies, and that's what you see here in this PowerPoint presentation. Every lot or every unit has a different variation in size, not only the driveway, the setback, but also the bedrooms, the living room, and so forth. I hope you can see that on your screen there. Some additional information. On August 14, 2024, you held a public hearing. The applicant formally requested a continuance due to health reasons. The City Council proceeded with the public hearing and received comments from the residents and stakeholders. Following the deliberation, the City Council voted to continue the appeal to a future date. The continuance was granted with the expectation that the applicant would conduct targeted community outreach before the next hearing. That's about the time that I came into this project, Mr. Mayor, around August 14 of 2024. I do want to clarify, I heard a comment earlier made during the public comments section about a Cristina Cortez. I am not familiar with the Cristina Cortez, nor have I worked with the Cristina Cortez since I've been involved in this project. So I just want to clarify that for the record. When we began the community engagement, we focused on 4 items: one-on-one meetings with key stakeholders. This allowed for a transparent and an open dialogue, which we were able to take that feedback that we received among the additional feedback that we received throughout the process, and is how we brought forward the proposed conditions of approval that we will present tonight, this evening. In addition to the one-on-one meetings we sent out a mailer. This was to address some of the misinformation, to highlight the key components of the project, and to clarify common misconceptions about the project. We did a door-to-door outreach, which was a targeted door-to-door approach. We went to roughly 1,000 feet within the property vicinity. I do want to also clarify that in the code for the mailer, the requirement is 300 feet, that we mail to a radius of 300 feet. We went above and beyond that. We mailed to 500 feet, just to engage the community a little bit further. And then in our in our door-to-door outreach, we went outside of that 500 feet radius. It was multiple weekends, evenings, different times of the day. We try to make sure to try to meet the residents and try to get there to their homes at different times of the day to allow for residents who may work late hours or early morning shifts. And lastly, we conducted town hall meetings. We conducted 3 town hall meetings, 2 in person and 1 virtual. On February 8th, 2025, we had 19 attendees attend the first in-person community meeting. Out of the 19 attendees, only 5 lived within 500 feet. The remainder did not. On February 11th, we unfortunately did not have a very successful virtual meeting. We only had 1 attendant, and I'll highlight that he was in favor of the project, but other than that, it was not very successful. The third meeting and the last in-person meeting, we had 8 attendants, and out of the 8 attendants, 4 lived within 500 feet of the project. Overall, based on the feedback and concerns we received regarding the privacy, the traffic, and parking, we have composed the proposed conditions of approval that we are presenting tonight. In these community meetings, we focused on various things. Mainly, we focused on educating on the Montebello zoning, Montebello's RENA allocation numbers, and and the needs of the housing needs within the Montebello district, as well as ADU laws. And lastly, we focus on addressing misinformation that was presented about the project. It is clearly not a project where it's an apartment complex or a townhome or for homeless shelter, and those are some of the key things that we touched on. But we mainly focus again on how this project will help address the housing needs of Southern California, one project at a time. The general plan, which is something we talked about in these meetings, for this area is zoned a neighborhood land use designation with a density standard that allows 15 to 40 units per acre. This current project is proposed at 11 units per acre, given that it is it's a little bit over 1.38 acres. As one of the things that we touched on was the reallocation numbers that was given to the city of Montebello, which is 5,100 units of housing to be created. This project falls within the moderate income to above income levels, as it is a project designed to be sold to 15 different individuals who would buy these projects and live in these homes. We do believe that Casa Bella del Sur aligns with the RENA goals by providing moderate income homes for first-time buyers. The project ensures that it's smart growth, preventing uncontrolled lot splits and high-density development. So I want to touch on that. Here you'll see a little bit more of the grass area that I was mentioning in color. So this would be the landscaping that would be allocated to the project site. And on the far left corner, you'll see the pocket park that would be there. It says pickleball court, but that can be changed or transformed. The idea is that we are allocating green space within the project. Again, we focused in our community engagement on the thoughtfulness of the project, being a balanced approach to density and the community integration. Most of the homes surrounding this project are two stories in nature. They assimilate with this type of project. And I'll focus on showing you where there are some additional projects that have actually same type of variances, if not even more favorable variances when they were approved. And here is I think, the best part of the project. Through the community engagement that we were able to conduct, we landed on 6 different conditions of approval that we're proposing tonight. This is new information not presented to the Planning Commission, not presented before. The first one, out of the concern for privacy that was raised by many individuals, we are proposing a condition of approval, number 1, which is a second-story privacy window, are to be designed to minimize direct views into adjacent properties, ensuring neighborhood privacy. That was met very well by the residents, especially the residents that live adjacent to the property. That was one of the main concerns, privacy and a second story overlooking into their backyards. So that is one of the conditions of approval that we're proposing. The second condition that we're proposing this evening is a design consistency. Some of the comments that we received was its original design and look, and some of the feedback that we got was that it aligned more to the Riverwalk project next door. I do want to apologize. There is a typo on my presentation. I put Real Walk project. I apologize for that. I call it out myself. With that said, that is a condition of approval that the materials reflect the Riverwalk project, maintain visual harmony with the surrounding neighborhood. And condition number 3, one of the feedbacks that we received from the community meetings was that the project and the homes be smart ready, that they have EV chargers, that they have, that they be prepared for energy efficiency, solar panels, and other smart related products, as you can imagine. And so that is another condition of approval that we are proposing. Number 4, regarding traffic and parking, which was a major concern. That was brought up. We were able to work on that in some ways, in some capacities. First off, on the applicant will be doing a contribution to a new stop sign at the intersection of Jackmar and 3rd Street to help reduce speed with a budget not to exceed $30,000 in addition. This is in addition to standard development impact fees that will be paid during the process of development by the developer. So this is in addition to help mitigate traffic concerns that were raised by some of the residents that live nearby. With that, in addition to that, we have the establishment of a homeowners association that will incorporate language in its bylaws to address parking concerns and initiate the formation of a preferential parking district subject to the approval of the Public Works and the Traffic and Safety Commission. Additionally, the homeowners association will restrict parking to designated areas and limit the number of vehicles that can be parked or stored on site. And condition number 5, the active transportation enhancement, what we call it, is an addition of a bike lane to promote safety and multi-modal access for the residents and the visitors. Creates a little bit more of pedestrian friendliness and a bike lane for those living in that area to be able to exercise. This will also give the driveway an additional set of space as they're backing out or into the driveway, because I know that is one of the items that we're asking for a variance on. Lastly, the site perimeters will have block wall. So if there's an existing block wall or a new wall, they will be enhanced for privacy and security for the residents of the said project. Some additional information that I believe is important to convey is community support and contextual justification. There is no zoning change being proposed. The project will remain within the existing R1 zoning designation, demonstrating a commitment to the responsible infill development. We do have strong local support. Through the canvassing and the community engagement and the outreach that we performed, we were able to receive 113 signatures for a petition in favor of this project. That is very uncommon for a development of this magnitude or of this size. And with that, it shows the strength of the community that they do want single-family homes, especially in the style that is being proposed. The petition was very clear and concise. It was also provided to you through staff, and you have that copy of that. This affirms the 113 residents that signed the petition affirms that this project aligns with community values and the housing needs. Justification continued. Reasonable density request. The proposal seeks 11 units per acre, well within the acceptable limits for single-family infill development under Montebello's general plan, as discussed earlier. The Montebello general plan, again, as mentioned earlier, allows for 15 to 40 units per acre. Lastly, community responsive planning. Unlike by right development options, this proposal was shaped through community engagement, striking a balance between neighborhood characteristics and the city's housing goals. And lastly, on this note, there is established precedent nearby. Within 600 feet, you will find multiple projects that have received approval with greater variances, reflecting a common practice in local development to accommodate housing growth. On Carob Way and Robert King Jr., you will see a project there on site that has no driveway apron for each individual home. They just have a shared driveway, common driveway that goes throughout the project site. On Carob Way and Jackart Drive, you see another project that also has a variance within multiple variances within that development as well. Those are all within 600 feet of this project. So again, this establishes precedent nearby. These are only 2 of at least 7 that I was able to account for within a short distance of the project site. And with that, I want to thank you for your time and your consideration. The project represents a responsible community-shaped solution that delivers moderate rate housing and aligns with Montebello's general plan. We respectfully request your support in adopting resolution number 24-62 to overturn the Planning Commission's decision and approve the Casa Bella del Sur project. With that, I'm open for questions or comments, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for your presentation. At this time, I will ask my colleagues to, we'll bring it up to council discussion after we hear the public hearing. So at this time, it would be appropriate to open up the public hearing at 7:52. And we do have some speaker cards. Do we want to call first proponents that support the project?
Correct. At this time, it'd be appropriate, Mr. City Clerk, if they have designated whether they are speaking in support or in opposition to the project, it would be appropriate to first have any speaker who wishes to address the City Council in support of this project. And I should note that while probably the best time if there are council questions is when the rebuttal period comes forward, so that way the council still would have the opportunity to address the speaker on any question that they may have. So, Mr. City Clerk?
Yeah, so in our stack, we do have 2 speaker cards that are in support. Would you like me to call up the speakers?
Yes, if we can please call the first speaker.
First speaker is Larry Salazar, followed by Daniel Gonzalez.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. Larry Salazar, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. My office is in Whittier, and I live in Montebello. I'm the realtor working with Mr. and Mrs. Molinari on the sale of their property. I've been involved in marketing the property since 2019 when it was first sold to a developer with the intention of building 31 three-story units. This project was subsequently not approved by the Planning Commission and the City Council. The second time the property was sold, the proposed project would consist of 24 to 25 two-story units. Subsequently, the buyers did not proceed with the purchase. Along the way, it was this developer that raised the possibility of building single-family homes because he had heard suggestions for this from members of the community. After further study, it was determined that 15 homes would be a feasible amount that potential developers would accept. Now, the owners of the property have decided to pursue the entitlements for 15 lots with the intention of having 15 single-family homes built. They have subsequently submitted their application to do so. Once approved, we will offer the property for sale as fully entitled for 15 homes. It's important to note that the owners of the property are not the developers. I'd like to speak a little bit about the property from the standpoint of its value in the marketplace. The property is about 1.5 acres, and there is one single-family home. There are no comps in the area for this type of property. The value of this property is in the land, not the home. When my clients purchased this property, it was always with the intention of eventually selling it for a residential development project. The proceeds of the sale will be used for their retirement. They've taken it upon themselves to see that the eventual development is designed in a way that will be of no detriment to the community they have called home for decades. They've gone out of their way to listen to the reasonable concerns of the community. Leaving the property as is not an option. The sellers are aware that the only other option is to build per right according to city code. This would allow for 8 homes with ADUs and with homes built to accommodate for junior ADUs. That's a total of 24 residential units. This by right development would have no HOA, no parking restrictions, no car per household restrictions. This is how potential buyers would develop the property. It's not the seller's preference, and that's why they're here asking for your assistance and consideration. In conclusion, as owners, my clients have a right to sell their property for its highest value, as I believe anyone in this room would want to do. They've taken it upon themselves to make every effort to provide a developer with a project that will enhance the surrounding community and not be detrimental to the property values or quality of life of their neighbors. I sincerely urge you to overturn the denial of the Planning Commission and approve the request for entitlements for 15 beautiful new homes in South Montebello.
Thank you for your comment. If we can please have the next speaker.
Next speaker in support is Daniel Gonzalez.
Good evening, council members. My name is Daniel Gonzalez. My address is on file. I support the proposed housing project as Montebello, in the entire state of California for that matter, is in dire need of additional housing. This is your opportunity as well as duty to help address the lack of housing by approving this project. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Noting that this is a public hearing, at this time, it would be appropriate for any speakers that would like to speak in favor of the project. Okay.
Well, good evening to the council, by the way, and thank you for having this moment for all the public. My name is Edgar Arenas, and I would like to support this project.
Okay, thank you for your comment. Is there anybody else that would like to speak in favor of the project?
Good evening, council. As most of you know, I don't come up here and cause waves. And most of you know I've been back here for 8 years. I'm also a stakeholder on Washington. I'm trying to develop Washington, Joseph knows, Jose knows, in a way that it brings a lot of revenue to our city. If you look at the big picture, these 15 houses are gonna bring individuals who are gonna have to pay a mortgage for an $800,000, $900,000 home. I don't know what the market's gonna hold at that time. But if we don't approve these 15 homes, you're gonna get an individual who could possibly, and I don't know for a fact, make it go all the way up to 24 and even into the 30s. That's not gonna benefit me on Washington. Once you start getting ADUs and junior ADUs and you get individuals who will drive a $100,000 Corvette but only pay $800 rent, they have a different perspective on life. I don't need that type of people in Washington. I have Greenwood already. I understand we need housing in the city of Montebello. I don't know the exact numbers we need anymore. I know it was 5,000 at one time. The governor said we need it. But give me time and I'll develop Greenwood to an 8-story facility to fit all our housing, since you don't want to put none of the housing on top of the hill with the $2 million homes. We need this project to stay for 15 houses. None of you have been here when Mr. Molinari was on council, so I don't know if people are whispering in your ears to vote against him or vote for him. You shouldn't do that. You should listen. I don't want to say listen to me, but I'm speaking with my pocket as well. I'm not a resident just complaining. I already dished out $400,000 for that property in Washington. You can see the taxes. Now for me, to make this city better, $400,000 could have bought me a Corvette. I don't think I fit in it, but could have bought me a Corvette. You know? So I honestly ask to approve of this project. Don't listen to the hearsay, what Mr. Molinari voted on in the past, what he was in favor for, what he's not in favor for. It's in the best interest of the city to put the 15 units in, because those people are gonna keep the city at a level that we need to develop Washington so we can have a place in Washington so people can go drink their coffee, do their nails, and so on. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Is there anybody else that would like to speak in favor of this project? Okay.
Good evening. I'd like to see something nice going up in South Montebello. The properties, I mean, it's a beautiful project. I want something nice. I don't want to see Cracker Jack boxes always going up. I want to see a nice community, something clean, something affordable, something where your kids can go run out and play in the area. Right now, we don't have that. I'd like to see it happen. Please, thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Anybody else that would like to speak in favor of the project? No? Okay, at this time, if we can please take speaker cards that are against the project.
Yes, Mayor. First speaker is Edmund Veloz, followed by Jorge Martinez.
Okay, so I don't see Mr. Veloz.
Reading a statement for him.
Okay, come on up.
Jorge Martinez. And then I'm reading something for myself, if that's all right. Attention Montebello City Council, concerning 301 Jackart Drive, Bill Molinari's property. My name is Edmund Veloz. I am 76 years old. I live at 907 Bluff Road and have lived there since 1967. My property is one of 4 properties which border Molinari's on his east side. This will not be the first time the city of Montebello has enriched Bill Molinari. In 1999, the Montebello Police Department was going to hire a new recruit. There were at least 13 candidates in line for that position. Bill Molinari's son was 13th in line for the job. He had no chance of getting that job. Well, Bill put his son at the head of the line and awarded him the job. This was an act of pure, bald-faced, filthy, slimy, putrid corruption on the part of Bill Molinari. And Bill's son should have understood the stink that it was creating. If he'd had some kind of mature self-pride, he would have refused the job.
Sorry
But
to interrupt. Can we speak specifically on the item? I think it's carrying into an item that's not related. If we could just speak on the item.
You're infringing on his right, free speech.
No, this has to be addressed to the topic that's at hand.
It'll get down to it.
Sir, please, if you have any comments, or Mr. Veloz has any comments on the project itself.
Okay, then let me skip the rest of that.
Thank you.
The project is substandard housing. It has been shown that this 15-lot project does not come up to Montebello's own standard for low-income housing. The Planning Commission recognized that, and because in all other ways it's such a badly planned project, they disallowed it. The City Council should see it the same way. Edmund Veloz. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. And now if you'd like to speak on your behalf.
This is me, Jorge Martinez. I live in District 5. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. Some months ago, the Molinari project was brought before the experts in this matter, the Montebello Planning Commissioners, and they saw fit to deny this project its zoning variances. So unless you are better than them at their job, please support their decision to deny this project its zoning variances. With that said, let's look at reasons that you should consider in halting this project. One is that there is no dedicated developer for this project, and one cannot be questioned about this project. What if the developer does not like the existing plan and wants to change it? 2, transparency and accuracy are not their strong suit. Simple things like the size of the lot are not in line with the records for the property. The PowerPoint presentation given to the public gives the lot size as 1.38 acres or 60,112.8 square feet. But the LA County Assessor's Office lists the lot size as 63,745 square feet with 63,859 square feet of usable land, which comes out to 1.46 and 1.466 acres. 3, back to the PowerPoint presentation. It misleads the public into believing that the lot sizes for the 15 units by the calculations shown in it are going to be 5,000 square foot lots per unit, and they are, in reality, nothing near that size. They are committing fraud by giving misleading information or by outright omitting important and relevant information. The lot sizes range from 2,223 square feet to a maximum of 3,240 square feet. 4 lots are less than 2,400 square feet. 7 lots are between 2,500 and 2,615 square feet. 2 are around 2,800 square feet, and 2 are 3,000 to 3,240 square feet. 4, this project would not even be considered if it were to be done in North Montebello, simply because this project would allow autos to be parked in front of the garages and extend and block the sidewalk in front of their houses. This project is ghetto and substandard. Let Molinari go back to the drawing board and try again. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. If we can please have the next speaker.
Next speaker is Bill Poliso, followed by Giovanni Sergi.
Good evening. Here to oppose item number 4. During the last couple months, we've had the opportunity to attend in-person meetings that the contractor lobbyist for Mr. Molinari hosted at Chet Holyfield. The lobbyist named Victor Sanchez is an active city council member in Bellflower and a developer himself. Mr. Sanchez was there to sell a concept that has no buyer. When asked about the buyer, who would it be? Why would a buyer want to present to hear out concerns? He indicated there wasn't one. Mr. Molinari had to sell his project to the city council so then he could find a buyer it could pay him the max amount for his land. The problem is that Mr. Molinari has done this all the time. He'll walk away from his neighbors and his community. There's no vested interest here. He needs to try to find a buyer to this concept. When the new landowner comes in, and then he will turn around and ask for changes and variance. During the meeting, he couldn't guarantee what the homes look like or even commit to a real concept because he doesn't have a buyer. All we kept hearing was, you either accept this or Mr. Molinari will build the 24 units as he has a right to under SB 9. So it wasn't really a negotiation. It was just take it or leave it. The interesting part is that I find it really interesting why Mr. Victor Sanchez would take this on as an elected official from a different city. A city, I'm sure, has the same concerns as we do. Maybe we should ask his residents how they feel. But he's a developer. It behooves him to get this through. Maybe he's the developer and maybe he's already has a deal lined up to get the project of this sort. Maybe he can just scare us to fall for it. One other thing I noticed was that Mr. Victor Sanchez is a lobbyist for Mr. Molinari, and the developer was the campaign contributor to Miss Scarlett Peralta. So you really can't make this up. You need to recuse yourself. Immediately. You shouldn't even be sitting here. He gave money to you. And you're going to vote on it. Really? No integrity?
If we can please
you look at
refrain,
yourself
if the
in the
audience
mirror?
can please refrain from making any comments.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. If we can please have the next speaker.
Next speaker is Giovanni, followed by Linda Nicholas.
Good evening, City Council. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm a resident of Montebello. I live a few doors from Mr. Molinari. I'm not here to speak about Mr. Molinari. I'm here to speak about the project and the concerns that I have when I moved into that neighborhood that is a beautiful neighborhood, and we don't want to change it. The whole idea of putting 15 residents there is creating more issues that we already have in South Montebello with parking, with density, and everything else that's going on in South Montebello. Regardless of the homes being built at the level that he thinks they're going to be sold, again, this project is not about him. It's about the residents of South Montebello. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. If we can please have the next speaker.
Next speaker is Linda Nicholas, followed by Tom Uch.
I want to state I'm not against responsible development, okay? South Montebello needs some beautiful homes down there, and the plans look like they would be beautiful. There's 4 items that I have a problem with. The ordinance for the backyard, I believe it's 3 feet shorter than it should be, according to our city ordinance, the maximum. The driveway. You can't park in your driveway. Now, if somebody like me that has a walker wants to walk on the sidewalk, and somebody parks their car in the driveway, I'd have to get into the street to pass by. I wouldn't be able to go straight on the sidewalk. That has to be changed. So if you're going to build something, make it responsible. The third thing is, are they going to pay the Quimley fees, which anything new that's built has to pay $2,500 per unit, and that goes to the Parks Department, David Sinowski's department. That's what the Quimley fee is for. The fourth one, on there it said, an item 4, that the homeowners association will dictate where they're going to park. Okay, inside the development. How can they dictate when they park outside the development? And that's the problem. Montebello has a huge parking problem as it is. So we just need to be responsible on how this is done. Those homes look beautiful. I'm not against them being built, but issues have to be addressed. The driveway length needs to be addressed. The backyard, because people need to have a backyard, okay? Those are nice homes. And I think South Montebello needs some nice property down there. They deserve something nice being built. And I hope that if this is passed, that's exactly what's going to happen there. They're going to have some nice homes, not cracker boxes after it's sold that somebody's going to come in and make some shortcuts. Nice property, because South Montebello needs to get upgraded. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. If we can please have the next speaker. Again, if we can please refrain from clapping.
Next
Thank you.
speaker is Tom, followed by Rosie Vasquez.
A gracious good evening. My name is Tom Uch.
Can you bring the mic down a little bit?
I'm sorry.
There, and speak into
My
it.
name is Tom Uch, 841 South 3rd Street, 41 years plus resident of the city. I do not have the specific measurements or the numbers with me at this time because wife and I just came from an overseas trip. However, as I remembered, the lot sizes are much smaller than the city code. I understand that the owner wants to make his profit and live, happily in the retirement there. I understand that. Okay. However, the results left for the community is that very detrimental to the community. Although the bylaws stated that they're going to dictate, the homeowners to use the garage there for their own, purpose. But there could be, as an owner of the property, there could be a constitutional issues with that, preventing an owner from parking in his own garage. Thereby, there would be problems with the parking and density. I would suggest that the project should be trimmed to 8 units to conform with the city codes. Let me say one more time, the city should not cut its head to fit the hat. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. If we can please have the next speaker.
Next speaker is Rosie Vasquez, followed by Brisa Sotelo.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and councilmen, councilwomen. I don't know, what caught my eye was something like this. This is a picture of the gentleman that just showed us the housing project. It looks like a Cracker Jack boxes. They look like they're just next to each other. I am surprised that this is back again here. I want to say to you that this project, bigger than this, was denied once by the commissioners, the Planning Commission. Secondly, it's been denied again, twice now. I hope and pray that all of you up there that represent the city will respect the decision of the Planning Commission. They're there for a reason. They're there to do the job, okay? Someone doesn't like it, and it surprises that Mr. Molinari, who had plans to retire with that money, yeah, we have plans, but not at a community's expense. It's going to be horrible. You can see it here. Let me tell you something. There's like, I counted 30 parking spaces. Do you think that these people that are gonna have these beautiful homes, it looks like it's gonna be nice, they could rent them out, especially right now. So now you have double the traffic, more than triple maybe. It's gonna be a nightmare for that beautiful, beautiful neighborhood. I know the neighborhood. I walked it many times. So I'm asking you to please do not ruin that beautiful, beautiful neighborhood. I'm proud of my neighborhood. I've lived there for 50 years. But do you think that we're going to even fathom that we're going to build, let's say by Shore High School, we're going to get some apartments there or something? No. We're proud of our neighborhood. I am so sad that I don't see enough of the community in that particular neighborhood. I know it. I've walked it over and over. And I am very concerned about the workers, the people that work. I mean, you buy a home, you need to have a job. And guess what? You come out of your house and you can't get out of your house or the street next to you because guess what? It's bumper to bumper, like a mini freeway. It's going to be horrible. Yes, we need housing. There's no question about it. But Mr. Molinari would have never approved this type of housing himself. He was on council, I was on council. And believe me, when it came up to making major decisions, okay, he would not go for it. You know, we need this, and we need that, and this, and this, and that, and that. And now it's okay. It's okay to be on top of each other.
Thank you for your
And
comments.
the density is too much.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank
We can
you.
please have the next speaker.
Next speaker is Brisa Sotelo.
Good evening. Thank you again for allowing me to be here to speak with regards to what our neighbors have already mentioned to you. So we've brought this up 3 times to you all. We have a new member of the 5th District. And I think that the fact that we have been through turmoil on electing or appointing, I should say, I'm sorry, appointing seats has not allowed us the due diligence to speak to the person that represents us. The person that was here speaking on behalf of Mr. Molinari gave you a set of how many meetings they hosted. And I'm glad that he outlined them all because I was not at the Zoom one, but you weren't at the Zoom one because he said who it was, and so it wasn't you, which sounds like you haven't heard from the community. Back in 2024, I wrote a letter to the Planning Commission, and on there was CC'd Mr. Palombi, Mr. Alvarez, and I think there was the district representative, not yourself, the other one. And in that, it asked that the city be the one to do the outreach. The city do the outreach to the community members to speak to us, because I can have, you know, my developer or my consultant come up here and speak to the community and tell me what they're supposed to say to the community. They're being paid to say that. They have to say that, right? But if Mr. Palombi were to present to the community, talk about what they can build by right, what they cannot, we could make better choices. And that was part of that letter, and I haven't seen that done. So I'm gonna ask you to go back, ask him to go back, ask him to negotiate with us, which he did not do. He didn't do any of the negotiations. We asked him to come back with a different number. If you look at how big the spaces are, or how big these lots can be, it's 5,000 square feet. He's asking to make that different. Why not leave it at 5,000 square feet? If you left it at 5,000 square feet, your number's 12. When we talked to his consultant, Mr. Sanchez, we asked him for a different number, and he never negotiated on that. Today, we were presented with new information, and that is what Mr. Sanchez told us, that it was new. That's not fair to us. How fair would it be to you just to learn this? Maybe you got that information, but I didn't. Maybe we would have had a better negotiation stance, but we did not get that opportunity. Instead, they brought new terms to the table at the 11th hour. And I did tell Mr. Sanchez I was going to say this because he did tell me when I walked in and I said, that's not fair to us. So go back to the drawing table and give me something that's consistent with Montebello, 5,000 square feet.
Thank you for your comment. Do we have any other speakers? City
Well,
Clerk?
we don't have any more speaker cards, but at this time it would be appropriate to ask anyone from the audience.
Okay, do we have anybody from the audience that would like to speak in opposition of this project that hasn't come up? Okay, I see no speakers coming up. At this time, it would be appropriate for the applicant to provide some comments. City Attorney?
Yes, at this time, the applicant or their representatives will have an opportunity to provide rebuttal. And if there are any questions from the city council to the representative of the applicant, this will be the time after his presentation. The time is yours, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I try to grab as much as I could in all my notes, so if there's anything you want me to speak on specifically, please feel free to call me out on it. And that goes to all of you. Thank you very much. First off, I appreciate the managing of the relevance to the project. That's what this is about. It's about relevance, not about an individual or what history per se. So that's great. I appreciate that. Substandard low-income housing was mentioned by one of the opposition members. If you look at the site plan, if you look at the entire full set of plans, you can tell by the design that it is not a substandard project whatsoever. They are 3 bedrooms. They range between 3 bedrooms to 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms to 4.5 bathrooms. I don't know about you, but I live in a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. This is, to me, would be way more adequate space than anything else for my growing family. So I want to highlight that this is not low-income housing. This is not substandard. This is market rate and above. That we've made that very clear. With that said, there was a comment or concern brought up about a future developer making changes to the conditions of approval. The reality is, if a developer were to buy this, the conditions of approval that are approved at any given point in time in any project, not just this, are the conditions that usually are the ones that are sold to a developer who is not the applicant. Those are the rules, those are the guidebooks which a developer must follow. For them to make changes to those plans or to the conditions of approval, they would have to go through this whole process all over again. No developer would buy a set of entitlements and want to go through this entire process all over again, which this process alone has been 3 years, just to give you an idea. Now, the concern that was brought up about not being a specific developer who's ready or in line to buy this project, realistically has no stance in what we're trying to decide tonight or what you're trying to decide tonight. It is very much common practice that property owners entitle their properties and sell entitlements. That is a very common practice in development and in real estate. The remarks about take it or leave it attitude in my community engagement process is not an accurate statement. Which was videotaped and recorded, my stance was education on the fact that this is the alternatives. I presented the alternatives to the site, the project site, based on land use designation, its ability to be split into 8 lots, meeting all standards and not requesting a variance in any given way, shape, or form. If you do the math and you look at those numbers, when you apply ADU law or SB 9 law, you see that once divided, as mentioned by one of the gentlemen who spoke in favor of it, Mr. Larry Salazar, you could divide this lot into 8, meeting all standards. If you divide it into 8, they will be single-family homes meeting all standards, and you could then subdivide into, have ADUs built at the same time, which would make it a 16-unit development from the get-go. There is the right also to then prep them and leave them ready to be converted and to add a junior ADU, an additional junior ADU. It is, as it was mentioned, that you have to be the property owner to make that conversion. So they would be marketed. For the record, I'm going to take a moment to state that when I began my community engagement conversations with the community members in these meetings, I notified all the people present that I am a realtor. I am not a developer. I do have, for me to be considered a developer, I'd have to have big projects. I have done ADUs, I have done single-family homes, and I have done a few junior ADUs, which is how I'm familiar with land use designation. I have no, what's it called? I have no position here in this project other than doing the community engagement side, which is what I'm doing tonight, and which is what I've conducted throughout the process. I will not be the real estate agent of this project. I will not be the developer in any way, shape, means, or form. And I made that very clear when I began my community meetings in the public setting. And that was recorded as well, so there's record for that. With regards to the development impact fees that were mentioned, yes, this project would pay development impact fees, of course, to the parks and to all the additional different impact fees that you have set in your bylaws or in your general plan, sorry, your municipal code. With regards to parking, the concern about parking, there are valid concerns. One of the comments that was made during the community engagement side was, well, where will people park if you're hosting a Super Bowl party? My answer to that was, well, if you hosted a Super Bowl party this Sunday, where would your guests park? They're going to park in the street. That's common. Everyone has the right to host a party and have people over. And where they park will be determined by what's available on the street. I will say that the project meets the parking standards. It has 2-car garage. And that is all that can be looked at when you're looking at the land use development side of things. There's parking on the street that is being proposed in the site plan. You can see that there's an addition of a street being developed as well. And then with regards to the size of the property lots, in the presentation I showed and I presented at least 2 projects within 600 feet that have similar variances. Again, that is a precedent that has been set that does not limit or make this project insufficient or, as mentioned, substandard at all. It is a very common practice to develop in this manner. With regards to the comments made by Ms. Sotelo for the negotiations, we did negotiate very, very well back and forth. The only thing that we did not budge on was the count. There was a request that the applicant lower it to 12 to meet the 5,000 square feet designation. If we lower it to 12 and we make them 5,000 square feet, then it allows for ADUs. It allows for that additional development of more homes being built on these parcels. That does not address some of the concerns that other community members had. They want the lowest number of unit counts. And the way it was presented was, if this is approved by council, 15 units will be only 15 units. There's not enough yard space to develop additional ADUs, and with the HOA in place, it would limit and almost make it nearly impossible for the garages to be converted into JADUs. And that was the attitude, and that was the information that we disseminated into the community. With regards to her comment on new information, there was one item that was added in the 11th hour, and that is the bike lane. The bike lane was added as a form of trying to address the space between the driveway and the street to create an additional buffer for pedestrian friendly and for additional buffer for the driveway. That is not something that I felt, and I apologize to Ms. Sotelo on not getting that information out quicker. But that was the only item that was never mentioned to them. And in my personal opinion and professional opinion, I thought that it would be beneficial. I did not think that it would be met with a form of resentment or lack of appreciation, for lack of a better word. With that, that is my response to all the comments or questions that I was able to gather. If I missed any, one more, the lot size. There was no intentional omission of the lot size. It was mentioned that apparently the county recorder's office puts it at 1.46. That actually works in our favor. If it goes from 1.38 to 1.46, that means we're building at a lower per capita number. We're at that point, I'm not a mathematician, but thank you. that gives us a better position, right? So that gives us more space, but I don't think that is the case. My understanding it is 1.38 from everything that I have read and everything that I have seen. So I don't know if that's an error on the county's recorder's office or not, but again, it is not an intentional omission or a lie. And with that, I open it back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. At this time, I would like to, before I bring it up to council discussion, I would like to close the public hearing at, okay. Do my colleagues have any questions or comments?
I do. I have a question, and well, first of all, it's a comment and then a question. The comment is, you mentioned these homes having two-car garages. I can tell you right off the bat that my home has a two-car garage, and I never use it for parking, number one. Number two, this question, or rather this project has always been about the number of units in this lot size. Now, pursuant to Senate Bill 9, as you understand it, you mentioned 16 total units, correct?
15 total units are being proposed right now.
Now, I've had conversations with Mr. Palombi and Mr. City Manager, and we've come up with a different number. Mr. Palombi, Mr. City Manager, could you clarify the total amount of units that this lot would be able to accommodate, total potential amount of units pursuant to Senate Bill 9 without requiring discretionary review or approval?
Mr. Manager, Mayor, members of the council, good evening. So to answer Councilmember Alonso's question, the total number of units allowed pursuant to SB 9 with no discretionary review would be eight units. And it would be an administrative lot split with 2 primary units that would include 1 accessory dwelling unit on each lot and 1 junior accessory dwelling unit for a total of 8 units.
Thank you. So it seems that our number is off. It's 16, we think it's 8.
Do you mean 8 lots, not 8 units?
No, it would be 8 units. So this would be a basically an administrative lot split.
Oh,
so
correct,
taking
correct.
the existing 1.3 acres, creating 2 individual lots, and then the units on each lot. So it'd be 4 units on one lot, 4 units on the other. So that's the administrative process through SB 9.
And what about through the subdivision process?
So through the subdivision process, anything over 4 parcels would require a tentative tract map per the Subdivision Map Act. So that would require city council approval. So that would be discretionary.
So now the question I have is, you've been providing this information to the community, but unfortunately it seems that you're providing inaccurate information. Would you agree?
That does not meet, that is not what my recollection has been of my meetings with your staff. The numbers that I have were from engagement with your staff and your planning department. So I think there is a specific question that is being asked, which is the discretionary part or not, and that is the differentiation. Yes, correct.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just going to go along the line. So we had Councilmember Alonso. Councilmember Romero, do you have any questions or comments on this item?
No, I would just like to thank Councilmember Alonso, because I did have questions about that. It was, I had a misunderstanding as well, so I just wanted clarity from him as well, but Mr. Palumbi clarified that question. So thank you for that. I did question, you said it's almost impossible to build an ADU in the garage because of the square footage. So is it possible though with the 15 units to do it, even though it would be really small, or it's not possible at all?
With the HOA restrictions that would be in place, it would limit the ability to do that. It would be very much a big uphill battle for any one resident living in that development to actually go through and develop that as a junior ADU. They would have to go through the HOA, and most likely the HOA would not permit that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Councilmember Peralta? No comments. For myself, again, just want to thank Mr. Sanchez for the outreach and for engaging with the residents. I do want to thank the applicant for showing up. I also want to thank everybody who spoke in favor and against the project and for voicing your opinions here. I do have, based on, when I'm up here making a decision, I make, yes.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, real quick, briefly. As I am processing the comments made regarding, or the question and comment made regarding discretionary or non-discretionary, I would ask staff to clarify. There could be, once the property, because again, it's 1.38 or 1.46, there could be an original subdivision of the lots, and then new owners, right? New 4 owners, and then an additional split between after that, because the lot sizes would meet the standard requirement of your municipal code. So it could be then subdivided again by those individual property owners. And so you could end up with the original assessment that I am bringing forth. Please correct me if I'm mistaken.
So I would just like to caveat this with, these Senate bills can be very tricky, and I think we're in uncharted territory here.
We are.
However, I believe there has to be owner-occupied, and that's one of the requirements. So in time, I also believe the minimum lot size for SB 9 would be 2,400 square feet. I think that's the minimum. So if you had a lot that was, for example, no less than 4,800 square feet, you could subdivide it into 2 lots. But again, I think the requirement is it has to be owner occupied for, I believe, a year or 2 years. 3 years, yeah. Again, these rules change. However,
Let's not apply an SB 9, apply an ADU. ADU law, simply subdividing, right? So you subdivide it into 4, and then you subdivide those 4 again, administratively, without any form of discretionary.
And I don't want to interrupt you, but to subdivide them into 4, you could not do that administratively. You would need to go through.
All right, very good.
Yeah, a
Thank you.
discretionary
I just wanted to
process.
clarify.
You got it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Alonso, I know that was a question that you asked. Did you want to follow up or anything like that?
No questions from me.
Okay. So as I was speaking in regards to this item, when we're up here, we analyze everything. Staff has taken a no position item on this. The Planning Commission denied this project. There is opposition from our residents. So I do have my concerns about the potential integrity of the project itself. Yeah, once I provide my comments, I'll close the public hearing, because all my colleagues were able to speak on the item.
Right, well, I think they were asking questions. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'm not making a motion or anything like that. Okay. All right, let me gather my thoughts again. All right, so so there is definitely some concerns here. I know some of the residents have spoken out on. So I do have some concerns as well, and some of the concerns that my colleagues have raised as well. So I do have some concerns about the integrity of the community in allowing a project like this. At this time, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing, and I'll bring it up to, and we'll close it at 8:41. And I'll entertain a motion from my colleagues to either appeal the Planning Commission's decision or to uphold the decision. So
I motion to uphold the Planning Commission's decision.
Okay, so we have a first to uphold the Planning Commission. Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. If I can please have a roll call.
Councilmember Romero?
I'm sorry, say that again?
So this is to uphold the Planning Commission's
Aye.
denial.
Councilor Peralta?
Aye.
Councilmember Alonso?
Aye.
Mayor Melendez?
And I vote aye. Okay, that item carries 4-0. All right, we'll move on to our regular business. Don't think we have any regular.
Get Councilmember, Mayor Pro Tem
yes.
Tamayo back in the room. Let's see. Okay, the record should reflect that Mayor Pro Tem Tamayo is reconvened onto the dais, and that's going up to consent calendar.
Okay, if we can please poll the council.
Yes, at this time, the consent calendar is before the City Council. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered to be routine. Any items a member wishes to discuss, including any items the public submitted speaker cards for, should be designated at this time. All other items may be approved in a single motion. Such approval will also waive the reading of any ordinance. We have items 5 through 16 for consideration on the consent agenda. And I'll start with Councilmember Romero. Do you wish to pull any of those items 5 through 16?
No, I do not.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Tamayo?
No items.
Thank you. Councilmember Peralta?
Item 6.
6. Councilmember Alonso?
No items.
Thank you. And Mayor Melendez?
And I have no items.
Be appropriate then for the City Council to consider a motion to approve items 5 through 16, with the exception of item number 6.
Okay, at this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll motion to approve the items.
Okay, we have a first by Councilor Peralta. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second by Mayor Pro Tem Tamayo. If I can please have roll call.
Councilmember Romero,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Tamayo,
Aye.
Councilor Peralta,
Aye.
Councilor Alonso,
Aye.
Mayor Melendez.
And I vote aye. Okay, we'll move on to item number 6 that was pulled by Councilmember Peralta.
Yes, this is to adopt plans and specifications for construction on Montebello Boulevard Street resurfacing project and proceed with the bid advertisement. I'm just pulling it for purposes of education for our community. Street repaving is just a vital function of what we do, and I know that there has just been a lot of concerns in terms of streets being repaved, and this is something that I think would be great to just provide a little bit more information in terms of this project. If one of our staff members can please just provide a summary and explanation of what streets and what this project will entail.
Thank you very much, Council Member. So this project is focusing on Montebello Boulevard between Lincoln and Los Angeles, was just north of our Great Separation Project. This project also adds center medians, similar to what's north on Lincoln, all the way to Pomona. And so the focus there is paving the roadway, ensuring that a lot of our potholes are filled, focusing on beautification through center medians, adding stormwater features that infiltrate some of the water as required by the state. And so basically, in this case, we're just focusing on Montebello Boulevard, and that's it.
Great, thank you so much. I do have just two things I do want to highlight. One is, will this be done? I know it's kind of a long stretch in terms of the project scope. Will this be done in phases? And I will say, like, one of the concerns I do want to highlight is seeing that we do have the Montebello Boulevard shut off towards the South Montebello end. We're already having just a lot of traffic congestion, a lot of detours. My concern is obviously having resurfacing and a project now on this side of Montebello Boulevard. If we do have a mitigation plan, what does that look like? And will this be done in phases? And what is the time lapse of this project being completed from when it starts?
Thank you very much, Council Member. That's an excellent question. So once we receive bids, we will be working with the contractor on the lowest, most responsible bidder. And then means and methods will be described by the contractor as to the length. And we are looking at approximately 6 months worth of work to be performed, coordinating with the various agencies regarding water and irrigation for the purposes of landscaping and within the center medians. Regarding phasing, we understand the dilemma that this kind of poses. The good thing is that Montebello is already closed. The issue obviously is that we have our neighboring residential neighborhoods being impacted. So we're working really closely with the San Gabriel Valley COG and AECOM as the contractor consultant that's looking at the grade separation to ensure a lot of safety enhancements are taking place at the railroad at grade crossings. Then we're looking to ensure that the trucks are actually going on our major arterials instead of our local roadways. So we will be working with the San Gabriel Valley COG. They're aware of this project. And then obviously working with our various departments, fire department and police department, to ensure that, a lot of this traffic is routed in the most accurate way. So there will be unfortunately some disturbances as we're paving, but we are going to accommodate as best as we can to all the businesses and the residents within the area to ensure everybody's safe and that we complete the project within the timeline and budget.
Understood. Thank you so much for providing that additional context and also understanding it's a 6-month project. So hopefully that's nothing too much for us to bear in terms of just some of the impacts that we'll be seeing for that. My other item that I want to highlight is, and this is more recently, I've had conversations with our city manager in terms of how we can improve just landscaping along our mediums as well as just the major corridors. I think that's a very small thing to be able to beautify our city. I've kind of now started driving, when I drive to work and back, I'm able to kind of just see some cities and how they use landscaping medium to just make their city look nicer. I have noticed we don't necessarily have a lot of flowers or native plants. We'll just have kind of grass and some trees. I think this is an opportunity to just a small way to be able to just aesthetically enhance our city. Is there an opportunity to be able to have some sort of medium landscaping for this project? Has that already been, written into the project, or is that something that's still an opportunity to, be able to have in terms of just more native plants, flowers along the medians that will be developed for Montebello Boulevard?
Thank you very much again for that question. So the plant palette has technically been chosen. However, we are always looking for drought-tolerant native species to be planted, obviously, because, Southern California does suffer from water rights. So there is still the ability, for example, if we could discuss this once this is awarded, the contractor, will not pose an issue if we decide to modify or change some of the landscape features, but we could always have a discussion regarding what's going to be potentially planted, and then take a look and see if the city council wishes to make modifications to those.
Understood. Thank you. And I think my intention is to not, add on to the project in terms of the allocation or the budget. But if there is an opportunity within the budget that we have that we'll be allocating to just ensure that there is an opportunity to create just nicer type of landscaping in those mediums, that's something that would love an opportunity to just discuss with council as well as our city manager as an opportunity to enhance our city. That concludes my comments. Thank you so much, Director Roldan, for providing us that summary and answering my questions. Mayor, I'll go ahead and motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Peralta. Do we have a second?
A second.
Okay, we have a second by Councilmember Alonso. If we can please have roll call.
Councilmember Romero?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Tamayo?
Aye.
Councilmember Peralta?
Aye.
Councilmember Alonso?
Aye.
Mayor Melendez?
And I vote aye. Okay, that item carries. We'll move on to AB 1234 travel reports. Do any of my colleagues have anything to report? No? Okay, we'll move on to council orals. And We have a council oral by Councilmember Alonso.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And as we mark or we're near the end of Women's History Month, I'd like to take a quick moment to reflect not just on the history we honor, but on the leadership we witness right here on this stage. I think it's one thing to read about strength and resilience in the pages of a textbook, and I think it's another to sit beside it. So I'm proud to serve alongside Angelica Palmeros, Nelly Ochoa, Kimberly Gain, Samantha Nevares, Councilwoman Scarlett Peralta, Councilwoman Daniela Romero, and Mayor Pro Tem Georgina Tamayo. Our councilwomen lead with clarity, conviction, and grace. Even in the face of criticism, they continue to show up with professionalism and dignity, something I truly admire. When they're confronted with noise, they bring focus. When met with negativity, they respond with purpose. That kind of composure isn't just admirable, honestly, it's powerful. We live in a time where leadership is often confused with volume, but the women up here remind me and remind us that real leadership is measured in integrity and showing up, standing firm, and serving the public with heart and vision. So tonight, let us not just acknowledge Women's History Month, let us live it. Let us celebrate the women shaping Montebello's future, not with empty praise, but with gratitude, respect, and the courage to follow their example. Thank you, ladies.
Okay, thank you for your comments and for your council oral. All right, I'd like to move on to my council oral. I'd like to get consensus from my colleagues to adopt a resolution regarding the Armenian prisoners of war held by Azerbaijan. Again, I'd like my colleagues to join me in our Armenian community in adopting a resolution to express our strongest condemnation of the ongoing unlawful detention of Armenian political prisoners and civilians by the government of Azerbaijan. We urge the U.S. State Department, the executive branch, and the broader international community to take immediate action to secure the release of all Armenian hostages, including philanthropist and former State Minister of Artsakh, Ruben Vardanian, and other prominent leaders currently subjected to sham trials and inhumane treatment. Montebello is home to one of the largest Armenian diasporas in the United States, and I would urge my colleagues to stand in solidarity. Before our next council meeting, I would like to share with staff the language on the proposed resolution, and if I can please have a roll call to get consensus on this item.
Councilmember Romero?
Support. Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Tamayo?
Aye.
Councilmember Peralta?
Aye.
Councilmember Alonso?
Aye.
Mayor Melendez?
And I vote aye. Thank you all for the support. At this time, there's no other council orals, so I'd like to adjourn the meeting at 8:55. Thank you all for joining us tonight.